Hello students, welcome to the part 2 of the endocrine systems. In the last lecture we have completed this part, okay, about the pancreas, and we have discussed about this islet of Langerhans as well. So today we are going to start with the insulin part. Okay, so basically what is insulin? Insulin is a hormone from which cell it has been secreted. The insulin hormone is secreted by the beta cell. Okay, it is secreted by the beta cell. I have given the shortcut to you, that is IB board, IB. Okay, now what is the function? It helps to promote glucose uptake by the body cells. Okay, what does that exactly mean? See, the function of the function of the insulin is to reduce the blood sugar level. Okay, the function of the insulin is to reduce the blood glucose level, blood sugar level. If suppose there is more amount of glucose, if there is a more amount of a glucose inside a person body, what we call that person is, we call that person as a diabetic person, that he is suffering with a diabetes. Okay, so who control up this glucose level? Okay, this insulin work. What is the function of the insulin? It helps to reduce the blood sugar level. Okay, it helps to reduce the blood sugar level, okay, by promoting glucose uptake by the body cells. Okay, the extra glucose which is present inside the human body has been uptook by these cells. Okay, and where does extra glucose get stored? The extra glucose gets stored in the livers and the muscles. Okay, the extra glucose is also called as the glycogen. We have already heard about this word in the digestive system in your 9th standard. What happens when there is an excess amount of, when there is a normal glucose, okay, and when there is an extra glucose, this extra glucose has a special name, that is the glycogen. Okay, glycogen. Why glycogen? Because the word glyco means the glucose and gen means the generator. Okay, so whenever there is an increase in the blood glucose level inside the body, so it get automatically stored in your liver and the muscles, so that it becomes normal to the health. What happens if there is an hyposecretion? What do you mean by the word hyposecretion? We have already covered this in the first lecture. The hyposecretion means lesser amount of secretion. If what is going to happen if there is an under secretion of the insulin? See, listen. So I'm going to make a two part. First, that is the insulin, and the other one would be the blood glucose. Okay, so right now I don't have a space, so I'm just going to write the abbreviated form, that is BG. Okay, blood glucose level. If suppose there is an hyposecretion, what is the function of this insulin? The function of this insulin is to control the glucose level. Okay, it's to control the extra amount of a glucose inside your body. If the insulin hormone decreases in your body, so what is going to happen? The blood glucose will increase. That increase of the blood glucose is called the condition as the diabetes mellitus. The word mellitus means honey. Why honey? Because it is very sweet. Okay, because it is very sweet, because inside the human body the blood has a lot amount of a sugar. Okay, so this condition, this diabetes mellitus, is also called as the hyperglycemia. What it is called as? Hyperglycemia. Okay, what do you mean by hyperglycemia? Hyper means more and glycemia means the glucose, more glucose. So there should be a perfect balance of the insulin. If it decreases, so it causes a condition called the diabetes mellitus, and the word mellitus means the honey. Okay, we have often seen this part in a diabetic person. If any of the diabetic person is at your home, so you can ask them they excrete a great amount of urine loaded with the sugar. Why the urine is loaded with the sugar? Because your body, the person of the diabetic person has a lot amount of a glucose level. So whenever the person go for a washroom, so the kidney along with the urine excrete out the glucose also. So that is why they have the great amount of the loaded sugar. Okay, as they are going to urinate a lot, so definitely they are going to feel thirsty. See, the water balance will become less, so definitely the person will feel more thirsty. Okay, and as our body constitutes 70% of your body weight, as water constitutes around 70% of your body weight, if there is a less amount of water in your body, so definitely the person is going to lose the weight. Okay, it goes with the logic, and the person will become weak and weaker. Okay, in some of the rare cases the person also loses its eyesight or the vision because of this weakness problem. Okay, hyposecretion. As there was a condition called the hyposecretion, what happens when the insulin was less? There was a condition called the hyperglycemia. But again, I am going to make two part. One is the insulin, one I am going to make the blood glucose. What do you mean by hyper? More. If more amount of if more amount of the insulin gets secrete out, so what is going to happen? The blood glucose will fall. Okay, and if the blood glucose inside the body of the humans get less, so the condition is called as the hypoglycemia. Why hypoglycemia? Hypo means less and glycemia means the glucose level, and the person may go in a coma as well. Okay, and the person may go enter into a state of a coma as well. Coma is a situation in which person goes, okay, it is kind of a brain dead, okay, for a few minutes or few hours or might be a day. So that is why you have a similar thing may happen to a diabetic person. If there is an excess amount of insulin, so what is going to happen? The person can become unconscious, and that unconscious situation can also called as the insulin shock. Okay, so there should be a perfect balance of the insulin. The insulin can't be too high or can't be too low. If the insulin is low, so it is going to cause a condition that is hyperglycemia. If the insulin level is too high, so it is going to cause the hypoglycemia. Okay, and as the person goes in a state that is called as the insulin shock, so how the person could be can get covered very fast? By giving him the sweet biscuits or sugar candy is helpful at that period of a time, because the sugar candy or the sweet biscuits can provide them with a lot of glucose. Now there is a question arises, as the work of the insulin is to reduce the blood sugar level and to achieve the stability position, can the insulin be zero? Can the insulin become zero? The answer to this part is no. Okay, the insulin level can't be zero, because a reverse function is going to take place. Okay, a reverse function is going to take place, that is by a special hormone, that is the glucagon. Who secrete this glucagon hormone? It is secreted by alpha cells. Okay, alpha cells. What is the function of this glucagon? It helps stimulates the liver to convert glycogen into glucose. What does that exactly mean? See, I'm just going to make you remind. What was the function of the insulin? Function of the insulin was to convert the glucose into glycogen, and that glycogen was stored inside the liver. Okay, but exactly reverse function is going to perform by this glucagon. What would be the glucagon function? The extra glycogen which is present inside this liver, okay, will be get converted into glucose. so that the person could achieve a proper balance of the blood sugar in his body. Okay, the insulin and the glucagon both works in a reverse condition. Okay, the insulin works for conversion of glucose to glycogen, but the glucagon works for the conversion of extra glucose, that is the glycogen, into glucose. So there is no problem regarding that part, the extra like hyposecretion or hypersecretion. Let's understand this flow chart very fast. See, I'm just going to start with this part. This is the low blood glucose. Okay, when the body glucose gets less, to which hormone it is going to secrete? Definitely, for sure, it is going to secrete glucagon, because whenever the body glucose is less, so it is going to tell liver or the muscles to release the extra amount of a glucose. Okay, extra amount of the glucose. So the extra amount of the glucose stored in the liver will release into the blood, and that blood and that person, see these molecules, we can see these molecules out here. Okay, these molecules get transferred into these blood vessels, and the person can achieve a normal blood glucose level. Okay, what exactly happens with the insulin part? See, there is a high blood glucose. Okay, on the other side there is a high blood glucose, so too much of glucose can lead to an harm. Okay, so what is the function of this pancreas? To reduce the blood glucose level. Whose function is to reduce the blood glucose level? It's the insulin, which is secreted by the beta cell. What does they does? The fat cell which is present in our body takes up this extra glucose and can helps to achieve you the normal blood glucose level. Okay, this insulin and the glucagon both function in a reverse way. One helps to convert the glucose into glycogen, and the other one helps in the function of glycogen to glucose. Now we are going to talk about the third hormone. It's very important. The thyroid is a bilobed structure. What do you mean by bilobed structure? Bilobed structure means a butterfly shape like this. Like a butterfly, like this. It has the wings. Okay, it is situated in front of the neck, just below the pharynx. Let's see this diagram first. Just below this part, see, this is the thyroid gland. We can see out here. Okay, where it is located. See, we can see this butterfly shape. Okay, butterfly shape, just below the larynx part. Larynx, okay, you might be aware about this larynx. Now we are going to so thyroid. What is the function of this thyroid? The function of this thyroid is to secrete the hormone that is called thyroxine. Okay, thyroxine and calcitonin. There are two hormones. One is the thyroxine and the calcitonin. But calcitonin is not there in your syllabus. Only we have to study about the thyroxine part. What happens? Hyposecretion part. Okay, what happens if a person, the level of the thyroxine decreases? The person can suffer with goiter, the person can suffer with the cretinism or myxoedema. These are the three conditions that the person can suffer. Let's understand them in detail by looking at the diagrams. This is the normal condition. Okay, this is the normal thyroid of the person, normal thyroid. But as we can see in the goiter, there is the enlargement. Okay, there is the enlargement of this thyroid, and it can be easily visible in this. Okay, it can be easily visible. See, and what happens in this? There is a swelling in the neck. Why there is a swelling in the neck? because there is a deficiency of the hormone, that is the thyroxine. Then iodine deficiency disorders can cause to goiter at the same period of a time as a cretinisms. What do you mean by cretinism? Cretinism is a condition in which the growth of the children's affect. Okay, in a cretinism situation, the childrens are quite dwarf and they get mentally retarded. Okay, the growth of the baby stop at the very early age, and there is a mental retardation. Okay, they are not mentally stable. Now there was one more condition to this part, that was the myxoedema. What is myxoedema? Myxoedema, again, it is a condition. It's a same like cretinism only. Even there is a swelling of the face, there is a mental retardation. Okay, each and every functions are same. The cretinism functions and the myxoedema functions both are of the similar nature. But the cretinism functions occurs in a child, whereas myxoedema condition occurs in the adult. This cretinism conditions occurs in a very early age, okay, that is in the childhood only. But myxoedema, when the person get mature, okay, and there is an insufficient amount of secretion of thyroxine, so it can cause a myxoedema. The same condition, but the phases are different. How we could remember? C for cretinism, C for child. Okay, and this as ma. Myxoedema, it is in adult. Ma, okay, and CC means cretinism child. Why the people living in the hilly areas suffer a lot from goiter? This is one of the important give reasons. Okay, and they might ask in your board exams as well. Because the person, suppose this is a plain land, okay, and this is the hilly areas, suppose, okay, the person who is living on this plain, okay, there is a lot of iodine. Okay, these plants will have a lot of content of this iodine. This agriculture part will have a lot of iodine, whereas the agriculture part of the hilly region has a insufficient amount of iodine. Okay, and due to the insufficient amount of iodine on the hilly areas, there is a deficiency that has been seen inside the humans. So that is why the people living in the hilly areas suffer a lot from goiter. The reason is very simple, because their food contain a less amount of iodine, because this iodine is the active ingredient in the production of thyroxine. If iodine is present in perfect amount, so it will help in the balancing of the thyroxine hormone. If the iodine secretion, if the presence of iodine in your food is very less, so it can cause up the condition of thyroxine. So the hilly areas have an insufficient amount of iodine in their diet, so that is why the goiter like problems can occur in their body. Okay, now let's understand this condition. Okay, hypersecretion. Hypersecretion means the over secretion of the thyroxine. It has been caused as, first, exothalamic goiter. There is an, okay, exothalamic goiter. The word exo, you are quite very aware, we have done the exo-osmosis also. Okay, the word exo means out and thalamic means eye. So we can see this eye of the person. Okay, this eye of the person is protrude out. Okay, the eyeballs are protruded outwards. Okay, they are very scary, I know. There is a rapid heartbeat. Okay, there is a shortness of breath. The eyes are protruded out, and there is an increase in the metabolic rate. Okay, because what do you mean by this increase in metabolic rate? Because see, when there is an over secretion of thyroxine inside the body, So what is going to happen? The person is going to become very thin. See, thyroid problems can occur to two types. If a person becoming fat will become too fat, but if a person starts to become thin, so he will become too thin. In the hypersecretion, the person will become very thin, but in the hyposecretion or undersecretion, the person will become too fat. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the third type of hormone. Okay. Sorry, the fourth type of hormone, that is the pituitary gland. It is the small projection which hangs from the base of the midbrain below the hypothalamus. Okay, so we are going to understand midbrain. There are three types of a brain. The brain which is present in the front is called the forebrain. The brain which is present in the middle is called the midbrain, and the brain which is present on the back side is called the hindbrain. But this pituitary gland, it is located in the mid region, okay, mid below the hypothalamus. Just understand this location. Okay, this pituitary gland is a pea-sized organ. Okay, it's very small. It's a pea-sized organ. It is small in nature, but the working of this pituitary gland is very wide. Okay. This pituitary gland is also called as the master gland. Why this is called as the master gland? Because it is called as the master gland because it practically controls all the other endocrine glands. We have studied about the adrenal glands. Okay. We have studied about the thyroid part. We have studied about the pancreas part. This all hormones have been controlled by this small pea-sized organ, that is the pituitary gland. So the function of the pituitary gland is to control all the other endocrine glands. Now, there is the hormones from the anterior pituitary. The pituitary has been divided into two parts, that is the anterior and the posterior. Anterior, the word means front, the front side. Okay, the front side of the pituitary. This anterior pituitary helps in the growth hormone. Okay, growth hormone means what? See, if there is a deficiency of this growth hormone, the person will become dwarf. What do you mean by dwarf? Short-heighted person, very short. Okay, and if there is an over secretion in the childhood, the person will become gigantism. Gigantism means very big. Okay, very big, very tall, 8.10, 9 foot, this much tall they are. And if there is an over secretion of the growth hormone occurs in an adult stage, the person can suffer with acromegaly. What is acromegaly condition? See, acromegaly condition is this. We can see out here. So one can easily see this part. This is a person normal hand, and in the adulthood, the person was as there was an over secretion of the growth hormone in an adult stage, the person was suffering with the acromegaly. The word acro means height, and megaly means large. Okay, we can see the swelling of these hands. Okay, we can there is not a proper amount of a growth. Okay, the person gets an uneven shape. The person develops a large nose and the thick lips. This is an acromegaly condition. Now, prolactin hormones. This prolactin hormones is only activated in the female. Okay, this hormone is only activated in the female. Okay, not the whole lifetime, but after the delivery of the baby. Prolactin hormone, okay, it is present in the female. Okay, when the when a mother gives a birth to the child, at that period of a time she feeds the baby. Okay, so when she feeds the so how it is possible to feed the baby? Because of this prolactin hormone. This prolactin hormones helps to secrete up the milk inside the mother. Now, adrenocortico hormones. See, the name only suggests the adreno means the adrenal, and the cortico. Cortico means what? Cortico means the cortex part. We have already discussed the cortex and the medulla region. Okay, the function of the adrenal ACTH means it helps up the activity of the adrenal cortex. Okay, it regulates the activity of the adrenal cortex. The fourth one is the thyroid stimulating hormone. We have already discussed about the thyroid part. And the fifth one is called as the gonad stimulating hormone. What are these gonads? These are basically nothing but the sex hormones, sex organs. Okay, they helps the they regulate the activities of the testes in the male and ovaries in the female. Okay, we are going to discuss this testes and ovaries in the reproductive chapters. One thing, this adrenocorticotropic TSH, they both are also called as the tropic hormone. Why they are called as the tropic? This gonad also. Okay, why they are called as the tropic hormones? Because they are operated from the pituitary glands. Okay, this adrenal, thyroid and gonad can't work on their own. They have to take the help of the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland, where it is located in the brain, and where is this adrenal located? In the kidneys. Okay, above the kidneys I mean to say. See, if it is going to stimulate, if it is going to pass the message, then only this adrenal gland is going to get function. So that is why they are called as the tropic hormones. Now, hormones from the posterior pituitary. What do you mean by the word posterior? Posterior means the back. There are the two important hormones. Antidiuretic hormone is also called as the vasopressin. Okay, in the exams they create some the confusion. Okay, vasopressin is also called as, so you can say it is also called as the antidiuretic hormone. And the second one is the oxytocin hormone. See, the first one I am going to discuss as of now, antidiuretic hormone. The function, see, the function of this antidiuretic hormone is helps in increasing of water. Okay, increasing of water from the kidney. Okay, basically this antidiuretic hormone works for the reabsorption. If suppose there is a less amount of water in your body, so what is going to happen? You won't be able to urinate. Why you won't be able to urinate? Because this ADH hormone will control up your water level inside your body. Because this ADH will helps to give a perfect control. Okay, so that you don't lose an excessive amount of water through the urine. So this is the function of the antidiuretic hormone. Okay, if there is a deficiency, okay, so basically it helps in the reabsorption of water from the kidney tubules. If there is a deficiency in this ADH, deficiency means less amount, so it can cause up a condition called diabetes insipidus. See, this is another kind of a diabetes. Diabetes are of two types: sweet diabetes and tasteless diabetes. This is an insipidus, means tasteless. It means tasteless. Okay, in this there is an very negligible amount of glucose. Okay, and in this also the person is going to urinate and the person is going to feel thirsty. Okay, so the function of the ADH plays an important role. If there is a less amount of ADH, so it is going to cause up a condition that is diabetes insipidus. Oxytocin. This oxytocin, the word oxy means sharp and the word tocin means childbirth. Childbirth. Again, this is very important hormone. Okay, and again this hormone works in the female only, because childbirth, who is going to give the birth to the child? Definitely, for sure, it is female only. The uterus in the pregnant mother leading to the birth of the baby. Okay, see, whenever there is a delivery time, okay, whenever a mother is about to give the birth to the young one, so at that period of a time, this oxytocin hormone which is present inside that female develops, and this hormones, if there is an, it tells the uterine, okay, it tells the uterine to get function perfectly. Okay, if there is insufficient amount of oxytocin, so there is no problem in the delivery part. If suppose this oxytocin level is less, so there could be a problem in the delivery part. So this oxytocin works during the pregnancy period, that is in the 9th month. Okay, because at that period of a time only the child gets the birth. Now, positive feedback mechanism. What is a positive feedback mechanism? See, I'm going to give you a condition. All the hormones works in a reverse function. Okay, all the functions of the body works in a reverse part. Okay, all the hormones, they are called as the negative feedback mechanism. Okay, see, when there was a fall of glucose in the body, at that period of a time insulin was more. Okay, when there was a more amount of a glucose, so that period of a time the insulin level was less. Okay, it used to work in a reverse way, as we can see. So this was called as the negative feedback mechanism. But oxytocin, only there are few hormones which are positive, which follows up the positive feedback. One of them is, that is oxytocin. See what happens during the childbirth. See, more the hormone, more the release of the oxytocin. Okay, the pituitary gland, see, the pituitary gland and the oxytocin. Pituitary gland secretes a lot of hormone, so at the same period of a time oxytocin also secretes a lot of hormone, so this develops a direct relation. So that is why it is called as the positive feedback mechanism. See, positive feedback mechanism means what? If pituitary is going to secrete a less amount of hormone, so definitely there would be a deficiency of oxytocin also. But if the pituitary is going to secrete a lot of hormone, the oxytocin level will also rise, because after all this oxytocin hormones secrete out from the posterior pituitary only. Okay, in positive feedback mechanism there is a direct relation, and out of so many of those, oxytocin is one of the positive feedback mechanism. And this is the flow chart. Okay, so in this flow chart you don't have to study like this. Okay, we have covered, so you have to see up your textbooks, because in this chart there are lot of the hormones which are not there in your syllabus, so just see in your text only. So this was the part 2 of the endocrine system. Thank you, students.